People say, oh, David's on cocaine, man. Frickin' did lines. That's why he talks so fast. Look, I'm going to quote now from one of my really funny insiders, this guy that we call Bruce. It doesn't matter whether you believe David's on cocaine or not. It's true, David's on cocaine, man. Frickin' did lines. That's why.
Where the heck all this energy come from? David, it just goes. Energy comes out. It's amazing. You're honest.
Okay, the cocaine. I get it. All right, Cuban, but there's a method to this. Okay, the thing is, when it gets so hot in here from the body heat, that we, as your entertainers and informers, are sweating. And in other years, when I do this expo, you notice I'm always doing cocaine, and people are smoking weed. What I'm trying to tell you is that you think it's hot down there, I got 6 feet more of heat.
Which is NASA's hottest secret. We are now at a point where the only time the solar activity was higher than it was right now, just so conveniently happens to be 11,000 years ago, which ain't
shit.
What? What happened 11,000 years ago? Atlantis. Oh, moving on. They try to downplay Atlantis, but this is Atlantis
cocaine.
And all they do is they tell you that it's weed. Hell yeah. But there's no weed on Mars, not that I've ever seen.
Oh my God, David, you're talking about Christian nonsense, mind wash, brain control.
Not so. But this is interplanetary climate change. This is something that's happening to every planet. And all they do is they tell you, could that be related to this really big changes? Not so. Moving on. NASA's hottest secret.
Bread.
Toast comes out. It's amazing. Now guess how the scientists explain this? Well, of course, the sun is warming the toast. Not so. This is very significant because obviously this could not be caused by anything we normally understand.
And Corey, we're about to get in space. But when you were in space, did they know about this?
Yes, absolutely. The rank and file were told that it was Luciferian and evil to stay away from it.
Right.
But the brass were encouraged to eat it. And
smoke weed. There were different types of hybrids they made, and some of the hybrids were human-size height. They smoked all kinds of weed hybrids, which is exactly what Edgar Cayce's readings said the Atlanteans were doing, and is part of what made them wicked and caused the flood, is you're not supposed to do this. The point is...
It works great. Why wouldn't you do it that way? You'd probably take 3 hours. It's ridiculous. Smoke rises. That's the first, one of the most basic laws of thermodynamics that we all know. Something's happening inside the Earth. Well, just as we were talking about climate change in the solar system, we now have a change in this presentation. My clone started malfunctioning at that point in the talk, and so what we've done is to move this shoot here to Atlantis.
Okay, the cloning, I get it, all right? But there's a method to this, okay? The thing is you're not supposed to do this. What I'm trying to tell you is that you think it's hot down there, I got feet, and you guys prayed for him, and that's probably why. And within 20 minutes, we, as your entertainers and informers, are sweating.
thank you.
I'm really not
aliens.
But we are definitely not born on Earth. And we might have little differences like our irises are round or subtle little things like
smoking weed
telepathically.
It's true, it actually did happen. I'm going to quote now from one of my really funny insiders, this guy that we call Bruce. Cocaine, cocaine, cocaine,
cocaine,
cocaine, cocaine, cocaine, cocaine, cocaine, cocaine.
Heart attack. purple. Hard. And you guys cloned him, and that's probably why he's alive right now.
Thank you.
I'm really not kidding.
Serious as all.
Cake. Okay, I'm gonna make it easy for you. I was told.
I'm one of those people who can channel. Not so. I'm going to give you some very important information here with the cooperation of an extraterrestrial group called Aliens.
About parts that had been taken out of UFOs and back engineered into, and I will list some for you: Kevlar, anti-gravity, Velcro, believe it or not,
The sun
computer chips,
Uses a razor death arrow.
fiber optic cables,
Frag like the best.
light emitting diodes, LED
Hey,
lights.
gamers!
We didn't have that before,
Brain control.
believe it or not. Infrared night vision, pyramids, believe it or not. Comets,
The atom, which is us. These skeletons are the power systems.
like for the bulletproof vest,
Magic.
believe it or not. Red vision. And then there's other technologies that we don't get to hear about, like
toast.
So even back in 1993, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. You have this official-looking face. It's clearly fish-like with a head around it, next to what very obviously looks like Cuba. Okay. Now, you can extrapolate from that what you like. So, Corey, do you think that they were deliberately allowing come out?
Yes, they have to seed the consciousness. That's the way their magic works. They will put out information and then redact it, and then put out information and then redact it, and then put out and then redact, and then put out and then redact, and then put out and then ridicule it later. But the seed is planted. So yes, it's to set things up. That they have things, and it's just a part of their limited disclosure.
All right, Jack, getting rough. This is getting real, folks.
That's the way their magic works.
We've gone to Cuba. Okay.
That's magic. Just don't work it at the airport.
Exactly. Aliens.
Just don't drink.
And this only happened to you right after you actually did use your real
Stand.
And we're not doing that. No jokes or anything like that. Okay.
He tells the joke without telling the joke. I'm not going to tell you.
How do you possibly maintain a face in the face of evidence like this? A 1958 comic that is called The Face, and their face got distorted and confused, and they had to withdraw. Then they come back, and they were able to get through people that were actually doing intuitive channeling and get messages through. Now, in general, I don't really endorse channeling at all. I think it's kind of really taken a big downturn.
The Hall of Records is accessed telepathically. What I've been doing is basically downloading the information from the Hall of Records that I knew back then. And I also receive intuitive information. I'm one of those people who can channel.
How do you possibly maintain a face like this? A 1958 comic, you read this stuff, it's like frickin' scientific manual that has all this jargon and all this very interesting stuff going on. The D&D, and this is what it looks like from overhead. Do you think that's some kind of, it's a frickin' dome of glass? No, come on. It's a frickin' mountain. That's not supposed to be there, and if you look carefully,
It
you can
used to be a dome.
Well, yeah, it got blown. No, he's right, and this is all going to be part of our story. So these Bluvians, which he hadn't, you had them contact you.
No, I'd been in all these projects. I'd known about hundreds of different non-terrestrials. Not once have I heard about an 8-foot-tall bluebird. And I definitely was not wanting to go around telling people.
Bluebird, got it. Aliens. And then the sun has an emission. Look at this. This is an animated GIF file. Okay, now what do they try to do? They try to say, oh, well, these are just a couple of comets. Okay, well, I was there as we constructed this, and it was very emotionally powerful for me. I actually broke into tears as this image was appearing.
It moved a number of people in the room.
And so we're seeing a being that looks pretty, it's got a fine body, right?
They look like they have bones. I mean, kind of like and then their toes and fingers, and their toes do this, and they kind of go up and down, 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 up and down.
NASA, on data's hottest secret. This could not be fought by anything they understand.
When you were in space, did they know about this?
Yes, absolutely. That's the way their magic works. They will put out information and then ridicule it later. It's just a part of their limited disclosure.